Good morning, Terrence. It's a Sunday morning here in Georgia, May 20th. Willie Nelson concert around here, too, huh? Well, this is your favorite alien and his friend Bubba. Hey, Bub. Say hi, Bub. There you go. See, Bubba says hi. Wag, Bub. Anyway, hope you guys are having a okay Sunday. I know over in Texas, they're trying to figure out what happened. Uh, so my condolences to the people of Santa Fe, Texas. I did a quick video on that on the day it happened. But today I wanted to do a video and call it suggestions to help you. So with further ado, let's start it up here. I'll give you 5 suggestions, not necessarily order, so you can do with them as you wish, and probably throw the video away too. But that's your business. Anyway, here's my 5 suggestions. Number 1, challenge. Like I told you in numerous videos, you must change your society if you expect to survive. And challenge is one of them. Right now, your main challenge is accumulation of wealth, power, prestige, greed. And that's your main challenge that you approach your society at. Profit, greed, and the accumulation of wealth. And the challenge should be the betterment of mankind, both as an individual and as a race. Notice I said race. There's only one race here, humans. There is no such thing as Afro this, Asian that, or Latin this. And so you must understand, and you got to change your challenge to be, what can I do to better myself? And that means that a CEO has the same value as a janitor. A lot of people don't want to be anything more than they want to be. Some people want to be a janitor, and that's all they want to be. That doesn't mean that they should pay and suffer for being a janitor. As whereas a CEO, why do you want to pay somebody $19 million a year to run an entity that's artificial? That I'll never understand. But then again, you guys created your mess. My ancestors created it, and I never understood them. But anyway, that is number 1. Number 2, mission statement. And I reiterate this in a few videos in the past. You must develop a mission statement. You don't have any. Neither any country in this planet has a mission statement, and you need that to survive. You need that to make your country or entity that you function under survive. In our case, in my federation, our mission statement is, we are here to help you in whatever endeavor you want, as long as you follow certain rules that we have. That's why we have 78 members, and they're not all humanoids either. But they follow the same rules to a certain extent. There's little variations here and there, but they follow the same rules. In your case, the United States would be considered a federation, but you guys don't follow the same rules. You got helter-skelter all over the place. So until you comprehend what rules are, you won't understand. So that's all I have to say on this. I'll expand later in videos, in my later videos, with these 5 points. So that was number 2. Number 3, alliances. Now, this is a tricky one here. especially you Terrans and especially you Americans, know about alliances because you formed a lot and you realize that sometimes it costs you trouble. Say, your NATO alliance, and uh, say you got Turkey and Greece, and you have other countries that came into the alliance from the 1949 original alliance. But does Turkey belong in the alliance? Not really. Neither does Greece. Because an alliance means that you are there for each other. Turkey is there for Turkey. Greece is there for Greece. So that not really should be members of NATO. Now, they could be allies, which means when you need them and the interest uh, matches yours, now that is different than an alliance. Just look at your own programs that you have here, i.e., Star Trek, the Klingons. They're allies of the Federation, but no way would they be members of the Federation. And you guys understand why. So if you don't understand that, then you won't understand why I say Turkey and Greece should never have been members of NATO. Because Turkey's got its own way of doing things, and it does not mesh with the NATO way of doing things. So I'll leave that as it may there. Number 4, government. And this refers back to my number 2 mission, or number 1 mission statement. Especially in the United States. The reason you're messing up is because you don't have a mission statement, and government fails you all over the place. Here, when you have a mission statement, a president has to abide by that mission statement. You can't have any Tom, Dick, and Harry be president. Can you imagine if you got Trump there, and if you have this guy named Kemp here in Georgia be governor of Georgia with the way he's doing his commercials? Now, come on, people, you know better than that. So, here for government, say the United States, after Washington left, Adams more or less was a stewardship, although he did cause problems. Now Jefferson started to change things. He should never have changed things. Look at in recent times. Reagan became president, and then Bush, and you consider that a, what you call it, friendly takeover? But Bush decided to go his own way, and he caused big problems. Because in his term, you had the invasion of Panama, which you caused. It was all your deal because of the guy you put up there in the first place by killing their previous leader, but that's a different story. Then you had Kuwait's invasion by Iraq. Now, didn't you supply Iraq during the Iraq-Iran war? And that's what I'm saying about, that'll be my next thing down there. Do not get involved in other people's affairs. But then what happened? You got Mr. Clinton, who didn't like the way Mr. Bush was running things. So he's quietly, and this I got to give to Mr. Clinton, he quietly did his own thing. He didn't toot any horn, he did it behind the scenes, as opposed to his successors after him, which are disastrous. George W., he had an agenda. His father lost in Iraq or didn't get the kind of ending he wanted, so he went over there, he had an agenda. But the Taliban, which was another mistake the United States made under Mr. Reagan, came back to bite him in the ass, and he had to deal with them too. But instead of dealing with them, he went ahead with the Iraq War. What kind of nut was that? See, this is what a comprehension comes in. You don't have any comprehension of what you're doing, you get yourself in serious trouble. Then Mr. Obama, which became the first African American, and you would think you would have a deal of how to handle this being an African American. No, he had his own agenda there. He wanted to embarrass the U.S. with all the mistakes. You know, Mr. Obama, as an African American, you made a lot of mistakes in your life. And you don't go there admitting that you did you? I haven't heard a single admission from you in there. And this is an alien speaking, not just a Terran, but an alien from another planet. You messed this up royal. Bush had messed it up, but you really compounded the situation. You allowed Trump to be president by the way you handled your presidency. Now we got Mr. Trump, who's looking at an America that has never existed. And how long are you going to put up with this? Because when he leaves, whether he gets impeached, which he probably will, the next successor, what is he going to do? Because the United States has no standing in the world no more. You guys ruined that. You, by pulling out of all these treaties and agreements that other people have done, I know they were bad, but you don't do that. You find a way to supersede them in later agreements, which you Americans don't know, because every president that has come in has his own agenda. You are a temporary stewardship of the country, and that's the way you should look at it. And until you do, you won't survive. And the last one I'm going to say a little bit of is interference. You create other nations and then you think that they're going to function on their own. Nations created by artificial means are dangerous. Look at Israel. It cannot survive without American help. Egypt cannot survive without American help, or Russian. They started with the Russians and they went to the Americans. Jordan, on the other hand, is hanging in there. Syria, that's a nation that the French created. They're in serious trouble, and they'll always be, because that was used to be a contested area even in the old history days. You guys don't read your history, do you? And never understand the people. Just because you're human doesn't mean that you belong and should follow one rule. You got to understand. In order to unite a planet, you must create a united planet. This planet will never be united because of the differences that you have. And you don't understand that. If you want to create a society of your own, well, then just leave this planet. But you'll never have this united planet because you got every Tom, Dick, and Harry wanting their way. If you want to hear more, let me know and I'll expand on these things a little more. I appreciate your audience. Thank you.